Unless there's video evidence of you standing there just like this, arms crossed, boom, and it goes off until that video emerges, I don't want to hear it.
What the hell?
The P320 has been blamed in dozens of cases nationwide in which police officers were struck or nearly hit by rounds that were fired even when the gun was holstered.
I'll be honest, guys, when this stuff started happening, even though I continued to shoot my 320s, I stopped appendix carrying them just because, you know. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and we have a drama alert in the 2A community. It is in flames, yes, as everybody has their torches and their pitchforks, and they're coming for GBRS's SEAL Team 6 DJ Shipley for having the audacity to say that a SIG P320 is actually a safe gun. People are not happy, all right? I actually just saw Jameson Travel's video on this. Shout out to him. Very interesting. We're going to use a couple clips from that later. But what we're going to do is GBRS put out a response video about supposedly a P320 going off in the holster of a student at an Achilles Heel tactical course. And again, I'm just going to give my perspective as a firearms instructor myself, because some of these issues I've actually seen on the range, even as of last night. We're teaching a 2-day night vision course right now. Yep. And also as someone who owns multiple 320s, I got some skin in the game, all right? So I'm going to give my perspective on this. We're going to watch GBRS's sort of video on this, and I'll talk about what I agree with and what I don't agree with, all right? So let's jump into it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon, and go grab yourself some merch. We got brand new Munchkin merch out, all right? So first thing we're going to do, we're just going to roll through this GBRS video and talk about it as we go. Let's jump into it.
But there was an issue on his flat range. Everybody's on the yard line. He's demoing something, and all of a sudden you hear, boom! Look down the yard line, just a bunch of students, and you hear him say, is that fucking 320? Already a negative install? And he said, you know, it went off in the holster. My issue with that is you can't see it. And just full transparency, we were running a key.
All right. So I saw this video when it first came out too, and look, man, DJ's 100% right. And we're going to show some videos. It's not that I'm saying there's not potential of P320s going off in the holster. What I am saying is this video shows you absolutely nothing. The camera is on the instructor. All of a sudden there's a gunshot, and supposedly it just went off on its own in the holster. Guys, he could have just desk popped this thing into the air. We wouldn't have been able to see on the camera. So the reason I want you guys to think about it this way, okay? Of all the 320s owned in all of the country and being used all the time, right? How many of these gone off in the holster have we had? A few, mostly law enforcement. But what's more likely? That student on that range had a 320 that went off by itself in the holster, or that he holstered his weapon incorrectly, most likely caught his finger in the trigger well, pressed down, pressed that trigger up, indeed in the holster. That's very common. So when we talk about things like what's reality, what's objective reality and likelihoods, it's a million times more likely that student indeed his weapon into his holster. Okay. Now, again, that's not to say there aren't videos of this, which we're going to take a look at, but so far DJ's 100% right. This video, and I got nothing against Achilles Heel Tactical. I like their content too. Shows you absolutely nothing in this regard. Let's keep moving.
PT course out here 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, we had a guy, badass class, start to finish. Everybody was super honest, super safe, super transparent, and really ready to train. And we had a guy, one of the top shooters in a class, full-time guy, full-time SWAT team dude, who trains his ass off, definitely one of the top shooters in a class. He had an AD in the holster. And it's right next to me doing a drill, and I don't even catch it because it happened so fast. We got the whole thing on video, but I asked him.
This is a really good video, guys. What they capture here is very, like, if a weapon goes off in the holster, 99.9999999% of the time, this is the cause right here.
As soon as it happened and I realized what it was your finger on the trigger? He looked me right in the eyes and said, no. Nope, I didn't do it. It went off by itself. My heart went.
So as you guys could see, he's got his finger off the trigger. As he presses down, it gets caught inside the holster. And as you press into that holster, it drives that index finger up into the trigger well, causes that gun to go off.
To my fucking mouth, and I looked over at Jared, and Jared had that really expensive camera, and he goes, let's see it. Rewound the video playback, and here's exactly what happened. And this is the whole tutorial I do on.
All right, so far, I'm not really sure what everybody is so mad at DJ for saying here. I mean, this is like the most likely course of action of what actually happened, right? Now, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to assume that DJ and GBRS are sponsored by SIG, which I think this is where a lot of the hate comes from, is that people feel like this is maybe a shill video for SIG because they're sponsored by them. Okay, I'm not seeing that so far, but we'll just keep moving.
It's not the 320 going off. Like we've been saying, there's a human involved in it. Doesn't matter how badass you are, you build 1,000 fucking bridges, man. One time. That's what happens. You rush to the holster one singular fucking time, and that's what happens. And then you start to blame it on the pistol. It ain't the pistol, dude. I've got 320s that have been locked and loaded, sitting in a fucking safe for years. They've never gone off. I mean...
guys, so I want to talk about this, what he talks about, rushing to the holster. Just last night had to stop the class and stop training because multiple students, as we started our pistol training, especially because we're doing night vision, right? So you can't really see the holster, and they're fiddling around with it. And I watched a couple guys start to try jamming that gun into the holster, and immediately had to call safety, stop, and explain to them how to correctly and safely holster a pistol, because yes, this is the type of thing that happens. Guys get rushed, they get ahead of themselves, and that's exactly what happens. So anybody who's a firearms instructor and is out on the range can tell you that students students do this a lot as they're rushing the gun to the holster. He's not wrong. That is typically how that ND is going to go off. All right, guys, before we get any further into the video, we're talking about running and gunning. I like to have my energy levels through the roof, and I do that with Tasty Gains pre-workout gummies, all right? Talked about it a lot on the channel before. Man, if you're trying to get rid of that energy drink habit, like me when I'm out at the range, rather than drinking 3 Red Bulls, I just take 2 of these bad boys, 200 milligrams in caffeine in each gummy. Gonna save your kidneys, save your liver, get off those Red Bulls, right? Clean energy, organic, and guys, also far cheaper than drinking an energy drink a day, okay? 30 servings of this, $30, all right? So head on over to the website, get yourself some pre-workout gummies. These are great even just for regular cognitive stuff, right? Before I film videos, things like that, pop one of these, replace your energy drink habit. All right, let's jump back into the video.
I'll say a bold-ass claim. Outside of the guys who shoot at Sig Sauer professionally, we probably put more rounds through a 320 as a group than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's exclusively what we shoot because I like shooting the best. And if I thought...
So, that's kind of a... guys, I got them. I got all of the 320 variants, or most of them. The gun's not the best, okay? I like 320s. I'm a fan of 320s. Been shooting them for a long time. Definitely not the best gun by any stretch of the imagination. So that feels a little advertisement-ish, a little sponsorship-ish.
Those guns were going off in holsters. I damn sure would not be shoving one in between my legs. I wouldn't be rocking them on a holster, and I would never let a student run them.
So it's funny DJ says this. If these were actually going off, I wouldn't be shoving one between my legs. He means appendix carrying. I'll be honest, guys. When this stuff started happening, even though I continued to shoot my 320s, I stopped appendix carrying them just because, and we're going to look at some videos here from Jameson's video that, there might be some proof that this actually has happened. All right, let's keep moving.
So that's my story, and that's what I'm sticking to. Unless there's video evidence of you standing there just like this, arms crossed, boom, and it goes off until that video fucking emerges. I don't want to hear it, dude. It's not.
Unfortunately, I got these from Jameson's video. There is videos of these going off in the holster without anybody touching the weapon. Okay, and we're gonna watch some of these in slow motion. There could be some reasons for this, all right? And at least this is what the controversy and the lawsuits have all said. But like I said with DJ right here, he just says there's no evidence or proof or video images of this anywhere. I don't know. Let's take a look. All right, so this is slowed down footage of quite a few of these 320s going off in the holster, and we can talk about it. All right, that one right there, guys. You can clearly see This officer gets out of his car, does not touch his holster, does not touch his weapon at all. Okay, I'll rewind it real quick. Boom. Hands are free. He's got his phone in his hand. So this one here, okay, as you see there, he's holding paperwork. That one is most likely user error into the holster, okay? But I'm going to show these two real quick again because you can definitely see. Can't see in this casino one here. There, phone, hand on phone, nothing on the holster, gun goes off in the holster. This one you can't really see, but this next one's really good as well. Again, he's holding paper. He's holding a binder with two hands. Gun goes off in his holster in the police department. So that's video proof of these guns going off in the holster without being touched. It has happened. As you saw, the ones that were very clear, right, that no one touched it were law enforcement. And I'll tell you this, law enforcement departments, and I know because I train them, oftentimes do not keep upkeep on all of their equipment. So they'll get, let's say, they'll get a new gun. So P320, right? They might use an old holster because now they've got a light on it. They just put a red dot on it. They haven't switched the holsters over. They're not actually using the correct holster for that exact weapon, okay? And that can induce some of these malfunctions. Now, that's what Sig Sauer is saying. Obviously, all of the people who have had these go off in their holsters are saying the opposite, right? I had the right holster. I didn't do anything wrong. It's really tough to say, guys. I mean, again, the likelihood of all of these that have happened throughout the country, most of them, if not 99% of them, are going to be user error. Okay, it's just the way it is with NDs. But as you can clearly see with those videos, there are times where these guns are going off in the holster. That you cannot refute that. That's video evidence that we just saw. All right, but we'll just wrap it up and see the rest of this video and then give our final conclusions.
And to throw out a blanket statement, I appreciate and I understand the concern, I do. But for you to say no 320s allowed on the flat range, I think that is a statement that shouldn't have been said.
I mean, you're as a firearms instructor, you can say whatever you want. Whatever your safety is, if Achilles Heel's tactical, if he believes, wholeheartedly that these are a safety issue, he doesn't want them on his range, that's absolutely fine to me. I allow 320s on my range, okay? To me, statistically, through, again, the millions of these guns that are out there and the couple of times this has supposedly happened, I don't think this gun is technically probably any less safe than another gun. However, it does, you have to start wondering that every single time there's some controversy with a gun going off in the holster, it's a 320 pretty much every single time, right?
Because you don't have the video evidence, you're in the middle of a demo and your full focus should be on the demo. I get it. That one round goes off. First thing out of my mind was that a fucking 320? Is everybody okay? Yeah. What's going on? What's the whole deal?
That's fair. I will say that was a little sketchy that the gun goes off and automatically the instructor yells, "Is that a 320?" Like, I'm with DJ on that. If I've got an ND on my range, one, I'm horrified. Make sure none of my students just shot themselves. Nobody's injured. Nobody's hurt. Right? Then I'm going to check out the weapon. So that was a little funky.
I don't know, like that, it really, it ruins people's confidence because there are millions of people out there running 320s on duty as their primary. And now it just starts to erode their confidence. Now they're like, whoa, is this gun going to go off? Now they're not safe. Now I don't know this. It does a lot of bad shit for the industry. So until a video emerges of a dude crisscrossed applesauce with his arms and it going off in a holster.
Well, I mean, love you, DJ, but we just showed you those videos, unfortunately. But again, that doesn't mean they have the correct holster. That doesn't make it, I'll say this, that doesn't make it the 320s problem, right? It could very easily be an incorrect holster. Still user error. I don't know. It's hard to say. So let me give my final opinions on all this drama. Okay. Again, as someone who really likes the 320s, okay, or, obviously, look, guys, I got tons of different guns, right? We got 320s, Glocks, everything you probably think of. But I'll say this, okay? Since all this stuff has happened, I myself have stopped shooting my 320s for the most part. I'm now shooting this Walther PDP Pro. which I think is an infinitely better gun. So obviously I'm not sponsored by SIG if I'm going to say that, but that doesn't mean I'm be worried about, you know, somebody bringing this out to my range or anything like that. It's just statistically the probabilities, the odds, it doesn't make any sense, guys. For this to be for this to be a real concern that, oh, at any moment your 320 could go off in your holster. If you're doing the right thing, you've got your right equipment. Probably not, right? So the 2A community loves the drama, right? They love to tear people down. I will say on a final thing here, I think DJ, you know, he's entitled to his opinion. I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I will just say sometimes, you know, people are going to get upset if they feel like there's conflict of interest. And again, I don't know exactly, you can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. If DJ and GBRS is sponsored by SIG, you know, coming out and doing a video like that, that can look a little disingenuous, right? Even though I don't really disagree with anything he said, I just, it'd be like, you know, if I had one of my sponsors, it turned out that, you know, their product was defunct, I would probably, you know, it'd probably look kind of bad if I came out and defended them. But I mean, it is what it is. Whatever, guys. This is just, everybody loves drama, especially in the 2A world. They love to try to attack anybody that's you know, a high level instructor, right? Everybody knows best with the YouTube keyboard warriors, right? But yeah, this one's interesting. It's kind of wild to see how heavy a backlash this one's come, but you know, I get it. People are pretty passionate, but also, I personally wouldn't go out and buy another 320 myself, but again, y'all can do whatever you want. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Catch you on the next one.